Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're getting...
Next question.
Yeah, we'll move on. Thank you.
She cooked the biggest name in college hoops, and somehow she was the villain? It was the moment that cracked the internet in half. Angel Reese just led LSU to a national title, but all anyone wanted to talk about was her attitude. People weren't ready to admit it. But the backlash wasn't about sportsmanship. It was about who's allowed to show confidence and who gets punished for it. The 2023 NCAA Championship was more than just a game. It was a culture war in real time. On one side, Caitlin Clark, the walking highlight reel. She just dropped back-to-back 40 pieces, was pulling up from the logo like she had Steph's blessing, and had the media eating out of her hand. On the other, Angel Reese, the unapologetic underdog who didn't just want to win. She wanted to own the moment. So when LSU beat Iowa and Reese hit Clark with her own signature move, the "you can't see me" taunt, it should have been iconic. A full-circle clapback, a mic drop. Instead, the internet went nuclear. Keith Olbermann called her a fucking idiot. Dave Portnoy said she was classless. Let that sink in. When Clark did the same exact move earlier in the tournament, she was celebrated. Swagger, moxie. She's got that dog in her. But when Angel did it, suddenly it was too far. The double standard couldn't be more obvious. One player gets the cover of Time, the other gets death threats. And this isn't just about two athletes. This is the playbook Black women in sports have been handed for decades. Be dominant, but not too dominant. Be passionate, but don't show it. Win, but don't celebrate in a way that makes anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it's just competition. It's been competition since college, being able to play against Caitlin. I've been playing against Caitlin since...
Angel didn't just win a title. She exposed a truth that media couldn't spin. And if you think that moment caused chaos, just wait until you see what happened next. Caitlin Clark throws a flashy pass. She's the face of the future. Angel Reese drops 20 and dominates the paint. Crickets. The media's not just showing love, it's showing its bias. People aren't ready to admit this, but the WNBA's next era is already being shaped by something deeper than talent. Because when one player's praised for her fire and the other's punished for the same energy, that's not a highlight. Real. That's a red flag. Let's be real. Caitlin Clark is that player. She's box office, she's confident, she's got deep range, and she's racking up accolades like it's a 2K career mode. But the media isn't just hyping her up, it's turning her into the narrative, while dimming everyone else in the process. Angel Reese? She's been dominant, out-rebounding entire teams, leading LSU with real grit. But turn on the TV and her name barely makes the segment unless it's attached to a controversy. Clark talks trash. She's a competitor. Reese talks trash. She lacks class. Clark gets a signature shoe deal. Trailblazer. Reese signs a record NIL deal. Distraction. Zero lies detected. It's the same game, but the commentary isn't playing fair. This goes beyond just two players. It's about how the system frames who gets to be the future of women's basketball. And when media giants handpick one face to save the sport, while sidestepping the culture, the Black talent, and the voices that built this game, they're not promoting growth. They're rewriting history in real time. It's not just ESPN. It's the whole machine. Because headlines don't just report the game, they decide who gets remembered. Caitlin's great. That's never been in question. But the way this media narrative is moving, someone's legacy is being inflated, and someone else's is being erased. And it's time we asked, who benefits from that? She didn't apologize. She doubled down. And in that moment, Angel Reese became bigger than basketball. Most athletes fold under fire. Angel? She lit the match. People weren't ready to hear the truth, but she said it anyway. The hate wasn't about the game. It was about who was playing it. After the championship, the media came for Angel Reese with full force. Classless. Unsportsmanlike. Too hood. And instead of backing off, Angel stood 10 toes down and called it out. loud. In the post-game interview, she didn't sugarcoat it. "I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto," she said. "But when other people do it, y'all don't say anything." That wasn't just a clapback. That was a cultural truth bomb. And it exploded. Angel wasn't defending one moment. She was dragging an entire system into the daylight. A system that praises white athletes for fire, but labels black athletes aggressive. A system that celebrates confidence, as long as it looks the right way. And Twitter went off. Black. Twitter crowned her the queen of keeping it real. Shaq backed her. Cardi B backed her. LeBron showed love. Because everyone could see it. This wasn't about trash talk. It was about permission. Who's allowed to be loud? Who's allowed to be proud? And who gets called a problem just for showing emotion? Angel became a symbol. Not just for LSU, but for every black athlete who's ever been told to tone it down, sit pretty, or act like you've been here before. She reminded the world that unapologetic confidence isn't a flaw. It's a threat to the status quo. She didn't ask for permission. She took up space. And what happened next proved just how dangerous that confidence really is. Same sport, same stardom, two completely different headlines. Because in the NIL era, your image might matter more than your stats. People love to say it's all about talent, but let's stop pretending the system isn't playing favorites. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are both elite, both marketable, both generational. So why does the spotlight feel so one-sided? NIL changed everything. Athletes aren't just hoopers anymore, and they're brands, walking, talking, money-making machines. And in this new era, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are the faces of the movement. Caitlin's bag includes State Farm, Nike, and Gatorade. Angel's rocking Reebok, Amazon, and Beats by Dr. Two Different Lanes. But let's be clear, they're both winning. Still, the media's tone couldn't be more different. Caitlin is hyped as the savior of women's basketball. Her every move is met with ESPN push alerts and GOAT talk. Angel, she gets meme treatment. More drama, less respect, even when she's literally moving culture. Look at the WNBA draft. Caitlin went number 1, cameras everywhere, ratings through the roof, mainstream media drooling. Angel went number 7 to Chicago, one of the most recognizable faces in college basketball. And somehow her moment felt like an afterthought. Make it make sense. The truth is, Angel brings something Caitlin doesn't. Edge, swagger, tension. She's loud, she's proud, she doesn't fit the polished PR package. And that's exactly why she matters. But here's the uncomfortable part. The system only has room for one kind of role model. And it's never the unapologetic black woman who talks her talk and cashes her checks out loud. The NIL era was supposed to level the playing field. But ask yourself, whose brand is being boosted and whose image is being controlled? Stick around, because the real power struggle is just getting started. The NCAA beef went pro, and somehow the double standard got worse. Caitlin Clark's games are pulling Super Bowl numbers, but Angel Reese, she's still fighting for a fair whistle. The WNBA didn't just welcome 2 stars, it inherited a culture war. People aren't ready to admit this, but the league's obsession with Caitlin Clark, it's coming at a cost, and Angel Reese knows it, because she's the one paying for it in real time. 2024 was supposed to be the W's glow-up year. Caitlin Clark lands in Indiana. Angel Reese heads to Chicago. 2 of the biggest names in women's hoops stepping onto a bigger stage. And instantly, the drama picks up where it left off. Caitlin's arrival turns fever games into national events. TV ratings skyrocket. She's on every talk show, in every promo, with cameras following her like she's the league's chosen one. But while Clark is crowned the new face of the W, Angel's still grinding for respect. You feel it in the headlines. Caitlin gets praise for intensity. Angel gets teedy, up for passion. Caitlin gets fouled. It's a league crisis. Angel gets hacked. Silence. And Angel sees it all. She said it herself. "They're not gonna hand me anything. I'm gonna take it." She's showing out in Chicago, crashing boards, bringing energy, keeping that same fire. But it's like she has to fight twice as hard to be seen as more than a narrative.
From the national championship game, and I been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking.
The truth is, the league needs Caitlin's numbers, but it also needs Angel's edge. Because without players like Reese, who aren't afraid to disrupt the comfort zone, the W risks becoming just another league that chooses marketability over equity. If college was the warm-up, this is the real showdown. 2 stars, 2 visions, and 1 league trying to figure out who gets to lead. So the question is, who's the WNBA really building around? It's not just basketball anymore. It's a cultural fault line with sneakers on. You're either Team Clark or Team Reese, and there's no middle ground. People aren't ready to admit this, but the Angel versus Caitlin rivalry, it's not even about them anymore. It's about race, class, bias. Who gets grace and who gets dragged? This isn't just about stats, it's about symbols. And fans are picking sides like it's a damn presidential election. On one side, Caitlin Clark, polished, record-breaking, the face of mainstream America's WBB love affair. On the other, Angel Reese, bold, brash, unapologetic, a walking clapback who doesn't flinch from the spotlight. The fan base is split like it's the NBA Finals. Let Caitlin cook versus Angel Hive. One side praises poise, the other power.
I mean, I think the shoe block is something that everybody would never forget. I think that is.
One gets applauded for dominance, the other gets dissected for daring to celebrate. And here's where it gets wild. It's never really about the basketball. Every time they meet on the court, the internet turns into a battlefield. A foul? It's dirty. A stare down? Disrespectful. But only one of them gets labeled that way. Meanwhile, the media keeps fanning the flames. Every moment is a headline. Every gesture gets replayed like it's the Zapruder film. The league says it's just competition, but the world made it personal. Because let's be real, this rivalry is bigger than sports. It's a mirror, and what it reflects. Not everyone likes what they see. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a reckoning. So ask yourself, are you watching the game or the narrative? Because in this era of women's hoops, every bucket carries baggage. And the story, it's just getting started. If Angel Reese is classless, then who wrote the rules on class? And if Caitlin Clark saved the game, what does that say about the women who were already carrying it? This isn't just about jump shots and jerseys. It's about perception, praise, permission. Why is one woman allowed to be bold and brilliant, and the other gets called a problem for the same energy? Let's be real. Angel Reese didn't break the game. She broke the script. She didn't ask to be polite or palatable. She just showed up, dominated, and demanded space. And for that, she caught heat. Too loud, too cocky, too much. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark walked into the league with a spotlight big enough to light up a city, and she earned it. But here's the issue, so did Angel. So did dozens of other women who've been hooping with 0 apologies and half the coverage. The truth is, women's basketball didn't start in 2024. This game was built by players who played with grit when nobody was watching. Black women, queer women, loud women, invisible women. And now, as the spotlight finally arrives, not all of them are being invited to bask in it. Because this isn't just about who's great, it's about who's allowed to be great out loud, who gets celebrated, and who gets scrutinized. And if we're not asking those questions, we're not really watching the game. We're just watching the narrative. So the next time you hear someone praise one and shade the other, ask why. Because Angel and Caitlin aren't the problem. They're the mirror. And the reflection? It's calling all of us out.